We are going to look at how to solve the 4 types of quadratics. So in my previous videos, we've looked at how to factorize them. So this time we're going to look at how to solve them. So if we have this quadratic, x squared minus 9x plus 14, if we want to solve, we have to put it equal to 0, okay? Then what we do is we factorize it. That's the first step. So refer to my previous videos on how to factorize, and you will find that it's x minus 7 in one bracket, x minus 2 in the other. Now for this to be equal to 0, that means that one of these brackets must be equal to 0, because if I make that 0, 0 times something else is 0. So if I make one of them 0 or the other, then it will tell us what needs to be in the other bracket. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down the individual brackets separately, and I'm going to solve them separately. So I'm going to pull down this one, x minus 7, and put that equal to 0. And similarly, I'm going to pull out the other bracket and put it equal to 0, and I'm going to solve this. So if I solve this, I'm basically moving the minus 7 across the equal sign by adding it, which means that x equals 7. And on the other one, moving it by adding it means x equals 2. So they are my 2 solutions. There should be 2 solutions because it's a quadratic. So it's an x squared, so there are always 2 solutions. So they are my 2 solutions to the first one, the quadratic. The second one, again, difference of 2 squares, this type. If you refer to my previous video, we should have one bracket that is x plus 7 and one bracket that is x minus 7. Again, we are just adding the extra bit, which is equal to 0 because we're solving it. We take out the individual parts, so x plus 7 equals 0 and x minus 7 equals 0, and solve the individual sections. So move the plus 7 across the equal sign, making it minus. So one of the solutions is x equals minus 7, and the other solution is x equals plus 7. So that's the second type. Now moving on to type 3, where we have no constant term. We have the factorization 4x x plus 2 equals 0. Again, refer to my previous videos on how to factorize that. We pull out the individual parts, so this time I'm pulling out 4x equals 0, and I'm pulling out x plus 2 equals 0, and I solve the individual parts. Now what pupils don't understand is what needs to be multiplied by 4 to give me 0. Well, the only thing it can be is 0. So that's one of my solutions. With the other one, I move the positive 2 across the equal sign, so my x value is minus 2. So they are my 2 solutions, x equals 0, x equals minus 2. And then the last one. Again, refer to my previous videos for the factorization of this. Put it equal to 0, and then bring out the individual parts. Now this, again, is one of those times when you have to be careful with the solution, because what you might be thinking with the other ones is if that's a minus, then the answer is a positive, and just switching the signs. But it doesn't work for this. This is why I've been teaching you to pull it out and rearrange. So with this one, we're firstly going to move the minus 7 by adding it. So 2x equals 3. And then we're going to divide by 2. So x is 3 over 2 for one of the solutions, or 1.5. And then for the other solution, move the plus 5 by subtracting it to the other side, so x equals minus 5. So we have 2 solutions. We have x is equal to 3 over 2, or 1.5, and x equals minus 5.